Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be dyeing some yarn again. I did a yarn dyeing video a few weeks back and that time I used the microwave, but this time we are using the dye pot. So the yarn we're going to do today, I'm going to be replicating this one, and that's got all the rainbow colours in it. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I have pre-soaked my yarn in water and white vinegar, and as you see I have tied it in 6 places, and that's because you don't want it to get knotted up, and it also helps me with knowing what colour to put where. So this yarn I'm using today is 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. If it was just acrylic it wouldn't dye, so it's the cotton in it that makes it look beautiful. So when I put this in my dye pot, the water is not going to go clear, and that's because I am using the cotton. If you were using something like 100% wool or merino superwash, you would do it until your water runs clear. So the colours we are using today are Rit Lemon Yellow, Rit Tangerine, Dylon Passion Pink, Dylon Tropical Green, Dylon Paradise Blue, and Dylon Deep Violet. So I went and bought some of these. They are shot glasses, and I got these in the Poundland, and they make it perfect for me to mix up my colours. So what I'm doing now, and I will bring the camera in closer once I've mixed the colours, separate those. Now I have got some very warm water in here, and I'm just going to fill it about 2/3 full on each one. Doesn't have to be exact. Right, so that is the water for my colours. Now with my colours, I'm going to start with the Passion Pink, and I managed to find these tiny little plastic teaspoons in Wilkinson's, and I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of powder into each of these small cups and give it a little stir. If I think the colour is too light, then I'll probably put a little bit more in there, like this one. And then we want the tangerine orange. Now because I'm going for a more pastel colour, I'm not actually using that much. So that's that one. We're going on to the yellow. Again, just 1/2 teaspoon will do. And with the paler colours, you might just want to add just that tiny bit more. This one is Tropical Green. Now, I only started buying these dylon colours early last week, and I think I actually prefer them to the Rit dyes. They are just absolutely beautiful colours. So that's that one. And we're going on to Paradise Blue. And And then on to the last one, which is deep violet. And I must say, these colours, they're just looking gorgeous. So I'm going to bring this camera in a bit closer so that you can see these colours. I'm just going to mix them up a bit first. I do need to get a proper tripod for my phone. Right, so there's my colours mixed up. And if I bring the camera in, you can see those colours. And once they're on the yarn, they will be more of a pastel colour. So next, I have got some warm water in my dye pot. I am going to turn it on to a medium heat. And I filled this about a quarter with warm water. You are then going to add half a cup, which is 2 of these, of white vinegar. Just mix that round a bit. And some people wait until their water is heated up. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I'm going to go straight in with the first colour. And I'm just going to pour it on one side and quickly wash the cup out in that same water. And then I need something to stir it with. That'll do. So that is a nice pink colour, if you can see in there. And then I am going to get one section of my yarn. I am going to just put it down this side, and I'm only going to put enough in that I want to dye. So I'm only putting one section of that yarn in the water. Slowly mix it around. And that's what it looks like now. And all we do now, we wait for the magic to happen. Once I think it has absorbed enough colour, I will take it to the sink and squeeze as much out as I can before I start on the next colour. So I will be back with you when this is nearly done. So I've now got this out of the dye pot. I rinsed it through and then squeezed it out, and that's what that colour turned out like. Nice bright pink, which was what I was aiming for. I then tipped out the water that I did the pink in, and then put again about a quarter of water in this pan, and then put it back on the heat. Again, you will need to put in your half tablespoon of white vinegar. And then the next colour I'm going to go in with is the orange one, and you might be able to see it's quite dark here, but once it's mixed in with all this water, it won't be as dark as that. So again, I'm just tipping it into one side and then quickly rinsing the cup out. Give it a quick stir. And yes, I'm not wearing gloves now. I can't stand wearing gloves. Now, you don't want to worry if you see there it's gone over into the next section. It will just blend with the colour that's on this one, and then make a pretty colour all on its own. Now I'm going to alternate this, so instead of like pink and orange and yellow and green, blue and violet, I'm going to do the pink and then the orange here and skip another one, then do the yellow and then the violet. So the green will be here, and that's exactly what I did on this one because I am trying to replicate this exactly. So on the next one I'm just going to fold that section in half, and I'm just going to gently place that section in the water and give it a stir. So that previous one, the pink one, that took about 15 minutes. So it's going to be about 15 minutes on each one. Obviously you won't have to watch all of it because I'll just keep stopping and starting the camera on the most important parts. So this has actually gone quite a deep orange. I wanted it a more peachy colour, so I don't think this one will be in the water the same amount of time as the pink one. So we will see. It'll probably look alright. And then I will be back with you when I start the next colour. So this is what the orange one turned out like. It's a bit darker than I wanted, but once the whole thing is rinsed with soapy water and all hanked up, you won't actually notice how vibrant the orange is. So the next one I'm going to do is the yellow, and I'm going for this one because I'm alternating them. So for the orange one, I only actually left it in for about 5 minutes because the colour took to it really quickly. So I'm just going to get that ready. And all I'm doing, I just lay it out on a plate until I'm ready to put it in here. Sorry, my camera skills are really poor. So again, I filled this up with about 1/4 of warm water. I'm going to go in again with my 1/2 cup of white vinegar. And then, so this is the yellow that I am doing. Now I did actually add a tiny bit more powder to this because I thought it was too light. So again, I'm just going to put it in one side and then rinse it. So that is actually the colour I am going for, and it's a really nice pale yellow colour. So I'm going to get my piece of yarn, and then I'm going to slowly drop it into the pan. And this one I will leave in here about 15 minutes so it can absorb as much colour as possible, and I will be back with you when I start the next colour. So the yellow was in about 15 minutes, and this is how it's turned out. I took it out and just quickly put it under the tap and squeezed the excess out. And now we have done half of our yarn, and you can see where I have skipped the colours. So we've got pink here, then orange, then yellow, and then we are going to do green and blue on this one, and then violet on this one. Like I said, it doesn't matter if your colours go over into the next section like they've done on these, because when you put the colour on the next section that you want, it will just blend into a really nice colour. So the next colour we are going to do is green. I've already put my clean water into this dye pot that you can see in the corner there. And while off camera, I already measured out my vinegar for the rest of it. So there's half a cup into this cup. So I'm just going to put it in the water and then get my green one. I'm going to put it down one side and then rinse my cup. And this is a really nice green. It's one of my most favourite colours of the dye. Now that green is just absolutely gorgeous, and it will come out, it should come out a really nice pastel green on this. So I'm going for this one between the pink and the orange, and I am just going to put that section into the water. Let's mix it around a bit. And then this colour I will leave for about 10 minutes, I think, because it's already absorbing nicely into the yarn. So I will be back with you in 10 minutes once I've done this one, and to start on the blue. Okay guys, look at this. So this is how the green turned out. It is absolutely gorgeous and the exact green I was going for. So you can see I only have 2 left now, and the colours on this look absolutely gorgeous. So when it's all hanked up, it will look exactly like this one. I've got dye all over my fingers, but I absolutely hate wearing gloves. So the next one is going to be blue, and it's going to be this one here. So again, I've got more clean water in my dye pot. In goes the vinegar, and this one's the blue, so I'm putting the blue in there, and it's exactly the blue that I was going for. So once you've been dyeing yarn for a while, some people prefer to measure their colours out, but me, because I've done it now for about just over a month, I just eyeball it. I seem to know exactly how much colour I will need. So there's the blue in there, and as you can see, it's a gorgeous blue. So I am now going to put my yarn in here. So this is the 5th colour I'm doing. So now you see guys why this can take so long, and also it might make you appreciate why hand dyed yarn is so expensive, because you've got the yarn and then your dyes, and then if you're doing it like this, with several colours, like I'm doing 6 colours, it will take a very long time. So that is why hand dyed yarn is so expensive. So I've now got my colours in there. So this one I will leave for about 10 minutes, and then I will take it out, put more clear water in it, and do the last colour. So I will be back with you then. So I have now finished doing the blue, and that is how the blue turned out. How gorgeous is that? That just reminds me of the seaside. And you can see where it has blended into the next colour. It makes it really, really gorgeous. So we have now 1 colour left, and this is what it's looking like so far. That is absolutely gorgeous, and it is turning out exactly the way that I done this one, which is great because I need 2 of these exactly the same. So I'm putting in my last vinegar, and again that's half a cup of white vinegar. I'm then going to put in my last colour, and my last colour is Deep Violet by Dylon. And that is a gorgeous, gorgeous colour. So I'm just going to mix that around. And then I am going to put in my last section of yarn. But before I do that, I'll just bring the camera a bit closer so you can see how deep that violet is. But when it comes out on the yarn, it will be a nice pastel colour. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And this one I will leave for 10 minutes as well. Just making sure this section is fully submerged. And after the 10 minutes is up, I will take it out and then I will rinse it. I will give it a slight wash with washing up liquid or dish soap, and then rinse all that out, and then I will show you what it looks like right at the very end. So it won't be long now, so I'll see you in a minute, guys. So everyone, it's done. So this was the last colour, and as I predicted, it would be more of a pastel violet, which is really nice. I have washed it all through and rinsed it with soap, and that is what it has turned out like. Now I absolutely love this, and it's turned out exactly the same as this one. So when this is dried, I will unwind it, rewind it, and then hang it back up again, and it will be exactly like this one. Now I am pleased with all of those colours, and you can see where the others have blended into the other colours, and that is just perfect. I absolutely love it. So again, when you do this, or if you want to do this for yourself, remember to tie your yarn in sections, and that way it doesn't get it knotted up. And also, if you're like me, then you can dye what sections, whatever colour you want to. Now just to recap the colours we used, which was Dylon Passion Pink, Rip Dye Tangerine, Rip Dye Lemon Yellow, Dylon Paradise Blue, Dylon Tropical Green, and Dylon Deep Violet. Now the Dylon ones you can get for about £3 or £4 on the, I think it's eBay or Amazon, which would work around $4 or $5. And then the Rip Dye, if you're in the UK, you can get them on eBay or Amazon, or if you're in the US, you can get them in Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this and other ways I dye yarn, and also with food colourings and stuff like that, then please comment down below. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye guys.